Glover tweeted, "How about a rematch?" Jan, we saw you and Jan talking after the fight. You have Anthony Smith and Ankalaev coming up.
Glover, he spoke about the rematch.
He just tweeted, "How about a rematch?"
Yeah. If doesn't matter if it will be Glover or Jan. Doesn't matter. For me, it doesn't matter. For the next fight, I swear I will be another fighter. Not like that. That was not good performance from me.
Do you understand or do you realize how great of a fight it is?
No, it was from my side. From my side, it was horrible fight, horrible performance. Yeah, honestly, you saw that fight. I was just some moments. I just survived some moments. Yeah, and my plan, not plan. Fuck, it's not plan. That's my stand, my life stand, to be dominant in the fight. Yeah, and not be just survivor in that. To be the hunter. Yeah. And that will be my next. That will be my next fight, and I will show that I don't want to fight like that. It's tough. It's full of blood, and it's not beautiful. No, maybe for you it's beautiful. You like to be entertained, but for a fighter, I like to fight clean. Hello, everybody. I wish you a great day, and I may decide for next fight, and I want to fight Glover the next fight, not because it will be another big fight, but just one reason. My performance was bad in first fight, and I will show you why I'm the champion. Clearly, decisively. And I think Glover deserves it. So here's the offer.
Touch your head, man, lose your power.
I'll take the power back.
What'd you say up there to him? You said something about he cut his hair.
Yeah, cut your hair, lose your power, man. Because that was like crazy. It was like the last round finish, you know? That was maybe the hair.
Well, obviously you got the rematch that you had wanted. You had called for, even Jiri had called for it a few days after. But it felt like it took a while to finally book this fight. Was there any fear that maybe that they would go a different route rather than rebooking this rematch?
No, man. I usually I don't pay attention to. I kind of leave with positive. I was positive the whole time the rematch was gonna happen. I don't let any those thoughts come to my head to be like scared that's not gonna happen or not. Whatever is meant to be will be, and this is it. Here we are with the rematch. Everybody wanted, all the fans wanted. And the UFC, you know, make it happen.
I feel like I'm the champion because I felt like a champion all the time in my career. But I just had to prove that here in UFC. I proved that, but I was not so satisfied with my performance. But it's not just for that, because it's this fight makes sense. Glover, he showed he's a very good fighter, and I know I can show much better performance. That's all.
And we know that you say you weren't happy with the first fight. You can show better. What is going to satisfy you? Like, what do you have to do in this fight to walk away feeling proud and happy about your performance?
Everybody watched that fight, and everybody know I'm much better in stand-up, and I know I'm much better in jiu-jitsu and wrestling than I showed. I just showed 20% of my skills, and doesn't matter. It's for me. It's a new fight, new challenge, new opportunity to show my best.
Well, obviously, you got the rematch that you had wanted, you had called for, even Jiri had called for it a few days after, but it felt like it took a while to finally book this fight. Was there any fear that maybe that they would go a different route rather than rebooking this rematch?
No, man. I usually I don't pay attention to. I kind of leave with positive. I was positive the whole time the rematch was gonna happen. I don't let any those thoughts come to my head to be like scared that's not gonna happen or not. Whatever is meant to be will be, and this is it. Here we are with the rematch. Everybody want it, all the fans want it, and the UFC, make it happen.
And after your fight, you had said you weren't making excuses, but you did kind of talk about maybe a rough weight cut, the flight to Singapore and everything like that. Now that it's happening in Las Vegas, do you think that will play a factor in maybe having a better performance, knowing you don't have to fly all the way to Singapore and deal with all that?
Yeah, no doubt about it. The difference, the time difference. So it's like only 2 hours, 3 hours. It make a big difference, already. But the weight cut was not hard. The weight cut was just the waiting around because the way they did it there, waiting around for 6.5 hours. Later on, I couldn't start. As soon as I start drinking, start throwing up. It was like it take me a while to start eating again and recover. So for sure, in the 5-round fight, that make a difference. I'm not saying that make the different results. It could be the same, but for sure, a 5-round fight, no doubt that will mess you up, man.
You had this unbelievable battle against Glover Teixeira. You weren't happy with it. What did you learn from that fight that it's going to make it a better performance second time?
First, to work on my wrestling and jiu-jitsu more, because there was a lot of luck on my side in that fight, and I don't wanna count with the luck in the fight, but I wanna count with about my skills. So I just work on my wrestling, jiu-jitsu, but still on the stand-up because that's what I like.
You think it was a poor performance? Does your coaches think it was a poor performance by you?
My coaches, in that time in Singapore, I showed my best. But I know, and they know, I can show more. I can show, but I was not in right attitude before the fight, and in the fight, it was like for me, most important night in my fighting career, and I showed, or I was in the worst attitude, in the worst feeling of myself in that fight. Maybe it's maybe it had to be like that, but I think I can show much better performance.
And after the fight, everyone was saying it's one of the best fights of the year, maybe the best title fight ever. But Jiri says it's his career worst performance, and he was very critical of himself. So when you hear that this acclaimed fight and he just doesn't like his performance, what's your reaction to that?
well, let's see you in the next fight. That's why we're here to do it again, because I don't believe it. I don't believe him, and that's why we do it again. Let's see.
Now, game plan, and what can you take from that first fight to make it an even better performance in your second fight?
That fight is just a little adjustment that I have to do it, man. The fight went great the way I fought. I was finding the distance, standing up, take him to the ground. Just a little adjustment that I have to do it in the ground because, he was sleeping too much. Maybe I was going to submission too much and lose the position a little bit. Talk about little adjustment in my game and finish him in the right time.
You mentioned just a minute ago that you said you had the worst attitude going into that fight in Singapore. Why was that?
That's my personal stuff. Sorry. That was a lot of things what was not so good in my life, and I had to change a lot of things. That's why I cut the hair. That's why I had to start in a new rhythm and in to start a new wave.
And for this one, I guess, what do you think the biggest mistakes were that you made last time? I know everybody kind of talked about the choice to try to pull a guillotine there at the end, but do you think that there were things that you could have done beyond that, tweaks that you could make? And was there anything specific that jumped out to you?
Yeah, the guillotine was not a mistake. The mistake was me turning around over there and not be aware of that, that choke could happen. That was the mistake. He's slicking in. He was slick about it, and the choke sink in, and it was the fifth round. I didn't have time to defend. That was the mistake. But other than that, I always try, man. I try the guillotine is trying to finish fight, So, and that happens. You go with a high level fighter. Not everything that you're gonna throw is gonna knock him out. It'll be nice if that happens. Go for the guillotine. I see that's my style. I try to finish the fight from the beginning to end. If I see the open, I go for what's gonna happen next. Whatever. I deal with it. And he didn't finish me right after that. And later on, there was a fifth round, and that happens. But it's a situation that we gotta focus on and control the fight a little better, and that's it.
And you posted on your Instagram, I think it was back in September, when you spent 3 days in a dark room. Can you elaborate on that experience and how perhaps that has helped you be in a better mental space?
This experience, I spend the time in like that. I think third, fourth time. So it's not new for me, but every time you are trying to push yourself to explore new places in yourself, to take a power from deepest sides of you. So that was the same.
Do you think that gives you perhaps a new outlook on how you approach the rematch?
Yeah.
And can you elaborate on maybe how you are feeling mentally going into the rematch and the differences that you're feeling?
Fresh, sharp, prepared, and happy. Like I said, I want to show the best performance, and I know what to do right now. I just want to do that. I don't want to talk about that.
How do you think, that new mentality will help you in the rematch in terms of your performance?
I hope and I believe I will show that. You will see that.
Thank you.